Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Joe, here with me is my co host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
Today, we're continuing our Pillars of the Earth set of reviews, and episode 2 is good, and it continues the plot. Tom arrives in Kingsbridge with his family, which, hip hip hooray, the plots are converging. Philip apparently has no money. I guess he's never heard of getting a job and passing around CVs. Jeez. Oh, wait. That's in the modern era. I have to crack that joke. You, of course, have Martha, who discovers Johnny Eightpence and Jonathan, which causes a great scene in Rufus Sewell to demonstrate how great an actor he is when Tom breaks down crying when he discovers Jonathan. It's a great scene as Tom's self-esteem and sense of self-worth hits rock bottom. And he finds that he doesn't have the will to leave, but he knows he can't stay, which this is a very universal crisis. It's the sort of thing that strikes men quite often in such eras. Tom ends up getting a bit of a miracle in the form of Jack burning the building down. Jack Jackson. The skull is crushed, which is pretty skull crushing for Philip. The skull of Saint Adolphus, I mean.
That's what a head case.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were talking about Philip, not Alfred.
Oh, very well.
Yeah, we could keep up the puns all day. Anyways, Cuthbert suggests they take another skull and present it as Saint Adolphus's. And Philip's a little resistant to the idea, but later is going to come around to it. And of course, Tom proposes that the devil burnt down the church, but God sent Philip a master builder. Man, if only I could talk like that in a job interview. I'm serious. It's just, wow, dude. Way to exude confidence. Even as he's fiddling with something in his hands. But he does a great job securing that job. We, of course, get, because it's Ken Follett, several lovemaking scenes in this series. That's the thing. I like Ken Follett, but he's got a pervy side. That's publicly known. It's not as bad as, say, Bernard Cornwell or J.R.R. Martin, who are infamous for that sort of thing, but it's still notable. Of course, we got Tom, after the lovemaking scene, deciding to draw and put together, essentially, miniature. Well, in the book, he sets up in a miniature version of the cathedral, but in the show it's just a couple of drawings. So it looks very beautiful, and the scene almost looks like a prayer or something. It gives the feeling of someone who's praying, which is how it feels for Tom. Tom, in the book, when he's working on a cathedral, to him it's like prayer. Just like how in the Musashi novel or Vagabondo manga, when Musashi swings his sword, to him it feels like he's praying. Such is the way of artists and architects, I guess. That aside, of course, we got Tom, who's heading up the cleanup of the broken old church and the cathedral building. Philip, deciding he needs money, contacts Waleran, and Waleran calls for a meeting near Shiring Castle. Philip goes there, meets Aliena, who's living there rather stupidly in the castle, despite there being no guards. And Philip then later rides off to Winchester with Waleran to beg for money, but Waleran plans to stiff him. So Philip forms a short-lived alliance with the Hamleys, and Philip gets screwed out of a great deal of the shiring lands and whatnot. And he inadvertently sells out Aliana. Not his fault. He's being naive. Not as naive as Aliana, Richard, and the steward. Philip, though, walks back to Kingsbridge with some wealth for his cathedral. That said, Helen is captured by Waylaren's guards as Waylaren decides to say screw you to Philip out of spite over the whole stealing of the Shiring lands, and has, Helen, or Hélène, because she's supposed to be from Normandy, thus she's supposed to pretty much be French, so her accent shouldn't exactly be a perfect English accent. So, yeah, there's a lot of things in the series that's not exactly accurate to the book or to the, history, but it's fine. It's a good series. Of course, you got Aliana's... there's violence done against her. I'm going to put it that way because we have to be very careful. YouTube. And ultimately, it is a shocking scene. Not as shocking as in the novel. In the novel, it's a horrific scene. And Follett graphically describes it. And you know what? Good on him to an extent, showing just how traumatic such a scene can be. That said, you've got the steward who dies in the attempt to rescue her. Richard is wounded a portion of his ear is chopped off, which is pretty traumatizing. Richard later basically becomes pretty much for all intents and purposes, a villain himself. So, this is a bit of a formative moment for his villainous nature to an extent. And I do mean villainous nature to an extent because he has a nasty side, to be quite honest. And so that's pretty much it. The sets are great in this series, and there's not much jarring stuff with the history. Mostly there's a few minor inaccuracies to the book, such as Henri, Etienne's brother, the king's brother, is supposed to be the bishop of, I think, York, and he's angling to be Archbishop of Canterbury, and he's outfoxed, but the reaction from him and Wayland are two markedly different reactions, which, with Henri basically going, nice. Because Henri thought Philip was just a yes man, but after he gets outsmarted, he kind of looks at him with a bit of admiration, goes, wow, you outsmarted me. Nice. While Wayland is seething. I wish they included Henri. Anyways, let's rate this episode.
Well,
I'm going to say, I guess a 3.5. This is a great episode. It's great.
A lot happened. You did miss all the events regarding Alfred.
No, I didn't. He accused... Oh, right. Well, I don't think I really did. Not much happens with his plot. He mostly accuses Helen of being a witch, publicly. Which, no offense, but she would have been captured anyways. Remigius was already going to have her arrested.
That's fair.
Alfred's role in it is a minor subplot.
Well, this is a really good episode anyways, as this series generally is.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3.25.
You're underrating this. Anyways, don't forget to smash that like and that subscribe button, and then go watch this show.